Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Well, hello, somebody. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Favorite, and that's right, happy Cinco de Mayo to all of y'all out there, because right about this time, I know y'all about turning up. Well, definitely, we have so much to talk today. We're here live at the Loyola Studios. I got my co-host in the building, CL NOLA. Y'all know he rolling, the coolest co-host in the town. Yes, indeed, we got so much to get into with you guys today. Special shout out to all of our sponsors. Big ups to Lamarque Crescent City Ford for all that they do for the show. Health Nut System, our new sponsor. Big ups to them for all that they do for the show. We appreciate them. Robert Wolfe and Construction on that West Bank, baby. We appreciate them as well. And Conquer Sports Pros, most definitely. And remember, y'all guys can like and subscribe to Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on YouTube. And remember, share this link right here. ESPN Baton Rouge will be on here every Monday, 6:30 to 8:30 at our new home right here in beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana at Loyola Studios. Well, we have a jam-packed show for y'all today, so I want y'all to stick around. Me and CL NOLA are going to go around the league. We got rookie mini camps this year, some stories buzzing around the league, and then we'll have in-house, we'll have Audrey Crone come through and talk to us about her music. Me and her spend time on Great Day, Louisiana, and, you know, all the exciting things that we have coming up as well. And then we'll be joined by the homie, Sean Fox of Ruston, Louisiana, Fox Sports, 97.7. He's going to talk a little Saints and LSU with us. And y'all know I love to enjoy my NBA dreams, so we will definitely talk some hoop dreams later on. But happy Cinco de Mayo. And look, y'all don't have too much to drink. It's still a Monday, y'all, but y'all definitely enjoy. So, CL.
They enjoying it. They partaking on my way to this dancery. They was partaking already, so you know.
Yes, I know that, because listen, it was too beautiful out here today. I don't know about the weather where y'all were at, right, but down here in New Orleans we had beautiful weather, so they might have got that started earlier.
Well, I think it's just honestly the loss of Frankie Beverly.
Yeah.
Obviously, this Sunday was the last Sunday of Jazz Fest, so kind of just ending out the weekend, and then boom, bang, pow, here we go, Cinco de Mayo. Like, it never stops in New Orleans. If you ever think to partake, it never stops in New Orleans. There's always something.
Quick question: did you catch this weekend?
Yeah.
Sunday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yes, sir.
So I guess talk to our viewers and back, because I don't know if all y'all were able to make it from Baton Rouge, Lafayette. I know we had some folks come in from North Louisiana, but how was it?
Well, the weather was perfect. It wasn't too hot. You know, somebody like me is conscious of the of the sunlight. The weather wasn't too bad at all. It was kind of perfect. Nice cool breeze every time you turned around. Of course, got a chance to see, the great Patti LaBelle. With the and it's funny, she had the classic wardrobe change in the middle at Jazz Fest. So shouts out for Patti for being Patti. Some of my people, Shorty, Shorty always brings the house downs on the Sunday closeout, and Shorty brought out Manny Fresh and Juvie. He also brought out Lenny Kravitz.
So Trombone Shorty brought out Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, and
because Lenny's from New Orleans.
Yes,
that's pretty
they
dope.
rock. So that was big, Yeah, it was. I didn't partake in any food because I'm fashionably late, and I'm just trying to run it and see who I could see, and do what I do. And yeah, it's a blessing. And I truly say this, and I mean this. I don't take this New Orleans life for granted.
Well, fashionable, I think, was the best word you said out of all of it, because I knew you were for sure fashionable late. It's Inside the Trenches. And if y'all had a chance to enjoy Jazz Fest this weekend, feel free to drop a comment. And it doesn't stop this weekend. I know there's the next weekend there's the Master P. No, we're right. It's Monday. This week.
Monday.
Yeah. Master P birthday bash.
Well, and then, if I'm not mistaken, Sunday is also Mother's Day.
Or is the following Sunday?
Isn't it this?
We might need to fact check that.
But I think
we might need to fact check that one.
Somebody tell us, when is Mother's Day? Nobody wants to tell us.
I really hope.
I think it's this Sunday, honestly.
I really hope
think
it's the
this.
following.
No, you're terrible. Yeah.
Okay. I know what it is this week. Rookie OTAs.
Yeah.
I know the Buffalo Bills, their rookies are coming in on the 10th of this week.
Yeah.
Miami the 10th, Patriots the 10th, Jets. I'm just dancing through a few AFC teams,
right.
AFC East teams. When you think about, let's say, a team like Miami, they definitely improved a little bit throughout the draft. I thought Buffalo did an exceptional job throughout the draft. But I think the story out of them all is the New England Patriots. Getting Will Campbell in the first round, shoring up that front line. When you look at the New England Patriots and OTAs outside of Will Campbell, let me say that. How do you think that mix between Will Campbell and Drake May goes?
Well, it's funny how days later we have conversations about confidence. Well, in the National Football League, you want your quarterback to be confident that the starting left tackle will make sure his blind spot is taken care of, and that causes a certain level of confidence. I think today and for the next 10 years moving forward, that left tackle position is confidently secured by a Will Campbell to block the blind side of a Drake May, because that is what was to be set up from the beginning, and that's what they made happen.
They did a lot of things on that offensive line this offseason. First thing that was most important is bringing in a top-tier offensive lineman in Will Campbell in the first round. You have Gary Bradbury there, Cole Strange. They brought him in the first round. You got, from the Jets, they do have Morgan Moses. I think this is his second year with the Patriots. No, I think he just got there. He got there with Stephon Diggs. So you look at that Patriots offense, it automatically gets better. And, they didn't really have to do too much throughout the draft just based on the production that they had. You bring in a guy, Kyle Williams, in the third round, wide receiver. So they made some improvements.
Talent on the outside, for sure.
They got some talent. I could give them that. want to kind of jump around a little bit more. I know we talked a little bit of the AFC.
Also brought in Hollins from Buffalo.
Mac Hollins from Buffalo.
Yeah,
he was straight last year on my fantasy. Yeah.
You know, he emerged as a big time playmaker. A solid, consistent playmaker in the playoffs with the Bills, but obviously moving on with the Patriots. So the combination of Diggs, Hollis, and Booty should be pretty good in New England. And now that they have somebody they know can block the blind side of Drake.
You're 100% right. They did improve in their receiving core. When you look back at this offseason for New England, you're going to say they definitely fortified their offensive line, and then that's your line right there. And they added some more depth to their receiving core to get Drake May some more weapons. So I think Drake May is somebody that you could look back. When we look back at this show a year from now, he's going to be somebody that's might be in a conversation with the MVP. How sometimes you have
most improved.
Yeah, or most improved, or he may make the Pro Bowl this year because of that. Now I don't know how good the team overall is going to be, but I do look at that.
Well, when you look at addressing issues and addressing needs, the second most important position in football is left tackle. Mm-hmm. So you have obviously quarterback is number one. You have the quarterback. Now you have the left tackle. Proceed. At least you have foundation to start, and I think that was most important for Mike Vrabel to have foundation moving forward.
No doubt. And they brought in Starks. I'm thinking about the New England Patriots. I want to switch gears for a second. I want to go to the AFC North, the boys on the North. If y'all just tuning in with the F, y'all like the North with the F. If y'all are just tuning in inside the trenches, me and CL NOLA are talking about some of the teams that really improved throughout the draft and the offseason as we're getting ready for rookie OTAs. Before we go to the NFC, I wanted to look at a team I thought really did exceptional in the draft. In their first pick out of Georgia, bringing in Malika Sparks, safety out of Georgia. I like the tongue twisters, right? You got a guy that's won a national championship, for sure, solid safety, and this just really making that secondary pretty much young for the Ravens.
What do the Baltimore Ravens value? The middle of the field. Mm-hmm. What do the Baltimore Ravens value? Safeties. Since the day Ed Reed has retired from Baltimore, they have been focused on getting ball-hawking, ball-noticing safeties. A few years ago, they went in the top 10 and got Hamilton from Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. He's a constant Pro Bowler every year. The experiment with Williams that came over from New Orleans, I think that experiment is over now that Mr. Starks has been drafted for the Baltimore Ravens. And as a matter of fact, I know it's over with because he's a free agent.
Yeah, he's a free agent. Yeah, they want to go younger.
They're focusing on their safety play to be a tandem instead of a one guy being everywhere like Hamilton, because obviously he's known for being in a slot, being a deep safety, being in a box safety. So now they're interchangeable, and that's a good look for Baltimore because they're not too many players away.
And we look at them offensively. They didn't really look to get any starters per se on offense. They did improve, bringing in Emory. Let's talk about that. They bring in the two LSU guys. You got Emory Jones and you have Gary Dellinger, two players you and I have watched over the last couple of years at LSU. So I think they're looking towards the future. I think they feel like they're that close offensively. Needed to get needed to improve a bit on defense, but they're pretty fine with their starters.
Well, I love New Orleans, and hope to God New Orleans love me. But I'm an NFL realist. I'll tell you the God honest truth. Baltimore is there. Remember, Andrews dropped the ball in the end zone. Mm-hmm. that game was over. Baltimore wins that game if he holds on to that football.
I keep forgetting about
So
that.
they're there.
Yeah.
They're there, you know. And of course, no team is the same every year because you tinker with players. You know, some stay, some leave. You know, some get better, some taper off. But Baltimore is there, and, you know, the safety position is something that they value, and that's what they address. I don't look for Baltimore to be anywhere but at the end of the dance come this fall.
You brought up New Orleans, so it's only right for me while we switch to the NFC, and we do have enough time to talk about one more team. And remember, y'all stick around for our guest, Audrey Crone. She's going to sit down and talk to us about all the things that she do around New Orleans in the entertainment business. She's also into music and acting as well. But when you look at the New Orleans Saints offensively, you bring in a Brandon Cooks, you bring in a Dylan Randuns, and that's pretty much it in the offseason before the draft. And in the draft, they addressed left tackle right away. I mean, Ryan Ramczyk retiring it was just there all the way. This is what we're missing. That was the message. Yeah. Kelvin Banks Jr., CL. Let's start there. He's someone, I think, in training camp, when you start looking at how guys are moving, footwork and hands, I think he's going to impress a lot of folks in this rookie minicamp.
Well, a guy that's not scared of the bright lights, starting at Texas, University of Texas, formerly, known as the SEC. Sarkisian, has put him in the limelight from day one. Facet offensive lineman could pretty much play any position except center on the line. Obviously, we can't wait to see where they decide to actually plug and play him at, because I do believe he's a plug and play day one starter on this offensive line. And I think everybody should be excited because Kevin Moore kept preaching, we're going to build this team from the inside out. This is the inside. We have the two bookends. We can do things offensively now.
I agree with you 100%. You have those two offensive players on the line to not only show up the young talent that's throughout the NFC South, but to be able to develop and get better. So I'll be looking forward to that. In addition to that, on defense, we have guys that they're looking towards the future or maybe to compete here pretty soon as well. You have Quincy Riley that just got drafted, Jonas Sanker, that, they brought in that safety. Yeah. So, hey, man, I mean, there's some young bucks that could potentially get some playing time.
It's not a secret that we're getting long in the tooth in New Orleans. We've gotten older at the linebacker position. We've gotten older at the safety position. We've gotten older at the D-line position. So pretty much every phase of the defense, we've gotten older. What I am impressed with the front office is that we addressed all needs, besides the one wide receiver. We addressed all needs, but you can't get everything.
Right, that's right.
But you did address all needs. You addressed linebacker. You addressed safety. You addressed cornerback. You address D linemen. So you address all levels on defense. I can't be mad at that. Now, who's going to step up and get these older guys out the way? We'll see. But that's what training camp is for.
Well, see, we always do what are the top three needs, and they went at their top three needs in the draft in the order that they felt. It was left tackle, quarterback, and then they wanted to get a defensive player, and that's what they did. So I look forward to seeing how they mesh in mini camps for the rookies. Right, to see the young guys. Right. Now, see, we got about
And I will never have a problem with Mr. Banks Jr. if he comes down here and does the beignet push.
Me neither. You can have beignets. Go ahead,
that
stuff it with some
beignet
crawfish for him.
Not the tush push, because we're not gonna steal that from Green Bay. We're gonna call it the beignet push.
The beignet push, yeah.
Yeah. Come on, first down.
Well, it is Inside the Trenches, baby. We want to thank y'all for sticking around this segment. Y'all stay around a little longer. I promise you this thing is going to get even more entertaining, and it has to with our next guest. We'll have Audrey Crone from the Crawzaddies come down and sit down and talk to us about the different things that she do around the city in regards to entertainment and movies, etc. But we want to go ahead and take this time to thank our sponsors, Lamarque Ford Crescent City. Any subcontractors or contractors out there, be sure to call Fleet Manager Shelton Jordan at 504-734-3579. Tell them that you heard about them right here on Inside the Trenches. They got y'all hooked up. Y'all need new utility vehicles. You need electrical vehicles, like say for instance, your energy, whomever. Hit my man Sheldon up. They got you covered like a blanket. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be joined by Miss Audrey Crone next. It's me and the boy CL NOLA, man. It's Inside the Trenches right here on ESPN Baton Rouge. Hello, somebody.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Somebody. This is Robert Wolfe. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got a great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing, all Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamarque Crescent City Ford. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamarque Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamarque Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Well, hello, somebody. Welcome back to Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Big Favorite. I got my co-host, CL NOLA here. And I want to take a second to give a sponsor spotlight, a big spotlight right now to Robert Wolfe in Construction Real Estate on the West Bank, 143 Lapalco Blvd, right there in Gretna, Louisiana. Give Rob a call, 504-393-2445, and mention to Rob that you heard about him right here on Inside the Trenches. And look, check this out. If you live down the bayou, in the area that get flooded a lot, which is basically just about everywhere in New Orleans, and you need house elevations, hit them up. They'll get it done. They have great rates, especially if you told them you heard about them right here. Speaking of right here, right now, in this time, I'm super excited to invite our next guest on the show. Me and her, this isn't our first rodeo. We've been on TV before. We've done some things before. Great Day, New Orleans, but Louisiana. Hello. But what I will say is our next guest is into music. She does coaching, and she has a podcast as well. I'd like to welcome to Inside the Trenches, Miss Audrey Crone. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Audrey.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Y'all make sure y'all follow her at Audrey Crone on Instagram, wherever y'all do y'all social media. Holler at my girl. Very entertaining page, by the way, Audrey.
Thank you.
Well, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm so honored to be here.
Your Mondays will never be the same again.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Can't wait to tune in every Monday from here on out.
Yes, indeed. So let's talk about Audrey. Let's talk about where everything got started. You kind of remind me of myself in regards to being multi-talented, being able to get involved in acting and be able to do music and all sorts of things and host podcasts. So I guess talk to our viewers about how everything got started for you in entertainment.
I started as an actor. So I went to school for acting, and then while I was going to school and getting a bachelor's, I was also running the university's tutoring center. Mm-hmm. So I was like helping people learn English, like grad students from overseas, and I loved that. So when I got out of school, I started combining the two things. Because I couldn't make a living off of just acting. Right. I was a piss poor waiter. So I was like, I can help people who feel uncomfortable speaking English because I know how to do dialect work and accent work from acting. So I kind of created that facet of what I do. It was like 11, 12 years ago. And so then from there, I was an actor for a long time, and I split my time between acting and between accent coaching. Mm-hmm. And then the accent coaching really started taking off, and I just got burned out with acting. So I've gotten to coach some really amazing people. Then, after my burnout, I was ready to finally to be artistic again. And I got a divorce, and I was like, I'm free! I can breathe differently and I can express myself and I feel like not a dead thing, just a dead, empty well. So that's when I started singing.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, professionally.
Wow. Very interesting intro.
Wow.
I'm gonna give you some truths.
We
love it.
Yeah, not holding back.
Your transparency.
Yeah.
But I have a very simple question.
Uh-huh.
Audrey, where are you from?
Kansas.
Really?
I grew up basically in a village. I grew up in a town of 600 people in a farm community. I come from a family of farmers and musicians. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So do you think that origin is where you possibly gravitated to music eventually?
My dad's a musician, my mom's a painter. So I grew up in a very artistic family. Like my brother's a chef, my sister does fashion and interior design. So we're all artists. It wasn't really it was an option, but I can't see myself like having a normal job. None of us do.
Right.
So my dad always was real big on preaching, like figure out what you want to do and then figure out how to make money in it. Make up your own thing. And actually coming from a small town actually helped because you don't have any opportunities there.
Right.
Anything you want to do, you make it yourself and you just do it.
And what part of Kansas was that?
The middle.
Oh,
Wow.
So if you were going to Colorado, it's where you turn left. So all the roads are straight.
Right. Wow.
So it's not really by much.
Yeah, I lived in Kansas, well, Missouri, Kansas City,
That's right,
so I would
yeah.
cross over to Kansas every so often. But yeah, that's just a different deal, right?
I mean, obviously we played the Kansas City Chiefs, and they made a point to always let it be known. Kansas City, Missouri is something totally different from Kansas City.
Very close to the line, but it's
yeah.
different.
Right. Well, Kansas City, Missouri is the nice side.
Yeah.
Kansas City, Kansas is kind of like
Yeah.
Ooh,
a little questionable.
I did a studio session over there before.
Yeah?
Got some
my
barbecue
boy,
over there.
Tom Ali, his studio, he lived on the Kansas side of Kansas City. So
91 for the Chiefs.
that's right. And I thought that. So, Midwest swing thing for you.
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay, you left Kansas and you went to, how did you get to New Orleans?
I went to school in Oklahoma City, and then the day of my graduation, I moved to New York City, and I was like, I'm a New Yorker, and turns out I'm not a New Yorker.
Right.
I lasted like 4 months, and I started to get hives walking down the street because it's just so much energy and so much. And then I went to Chicago, and then I got a job doing costumes on a TV show, and I hated it so much. But I was 22, and I didn't know how to quit a job. So I was like, well, I'm moving to New Orleans. I can't work this job anymore. I'm so sorry. So I followed my now ex-husband down here because he had moved down here from Chicago.
Okay.
And then moved in with him in the Bywater and then never looked back.
New Orleans has that effect on people.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of my old teammates for the Saints, they come, they move in, and like, hey, this home now, bro.
I visited the first time, and I was like, wait a second.
Right.
There's a place that exists in the world that values all the same things that I value.
Right.
Great, bright colors, humidity, costuming, music, having a good time. Great.
It's just something in the fabric of the area. Like, people gravitate here.
Definitely having a good time, and I know for sure Chicago winters can be brutal.
Oh my God!
And we don't actually even have a winter. I fuss about that. We had 5 days of winter plus the snowstorm this year, but I digress.
Right. They told me when I was in Chicago, they said, you need to get through at least one winter and get tough. And I said, I don't want to be tough.
Right.
I'm moving to New Orleans.
Yeah.
No.
Well, the first day, the second day, you shovel the driveway. This ain't where you want to be at.
Okay. So you're in New Orleans now. You've been here for how many years now?
11.
11 years. Oh yeah. You after the
I'm
first
never
3,
leaving.
you're a native of the area.
I'm never leaving.
Favorite food?
Asian food. There's some really good Asian spots.
Name
You
it.
gotta put me on a few of
Vietnamese
them.
spots. I never remember. I'm like I just know
Yeah.
where they
You
are.
gotta go there. Yeah.
Go.
That's
I don't know what they're
understandable.
called.
That's understandable.
If y'all just tuned in to Inside the Trenches, we're joined by Audrey Crone. Be sure to follow her on Instagram at Audrey Crone. Y'all can follow her. A couple of pages you can follow. You can follow my glasses. the American Accent Coaching page. You can follow her at NOLA Crawzaddies, and then also her podcast, The Unmute Show. But I want to talk about your Thursday night shows. When you told me about that at the studio at WW, I was like, man, that's pretty cool. So I guess for our viewers, what's a typical night like for you on Thursdays?
Well, I have Wednesday nights and Thursday nights. Thursday nights are at Bourbon O Bar, and Wednesday nights, that's the new one I added. And it's a brand new bar right by St. Roch Market called Loda, and they're letting me do a naughty jazz night.
Come on.
That's what's really fun.
That seems like that's going to be cool.
So
and this is weekly?
Every week, every Wednesday. So I've invited a bunch of swing dancer friends. So there's like people, amazing dancers partnering up with each other. And I'm trying to get a Sinners vibe. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Have you seen the movie yet?
No, I have to
Okay.
get on. You saw it already?
I mean, I saw Dirty Dancing.
What
Okay,
about
there
Sinners?
you go.
Sinners?
Sinners,
Yeah, of
yeah.
course,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a Sinners vibe in
Well, I
there.
thought and when she said okay, because I thought she wasn't transitioning from the vibe inside the bar. She wanted to be Sinner. See, you
Right.
lost me, but I jumped back
the new
on.
movie that just dropped, yeah.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan
Yeah,
in
Mike.
there. There's another Ryan Coogler show. So,
Great movie.
Yeah.
So I hear that you dab in a little bit of Hollywood of the South. Am I mistaken that you're a dialect coach and
That's what I
you've
do.
helped out?
Yeah.
Contractually, can you say who or what maybe you've worked on, since you've been down?
I've worked on some really great stuff. Honestly, I haven't worked in the city in like 5 years. I get flown out.
It's been slow.
Yeah, I get flown out and I go and work other places, or I work on Zoom. So the biggest thing that I got to do was Judas and the Black Messiah. If you saw that movie, I did all the accents for that show. So like Daniel Kaluuya, Dominique Fishback, Ashton Sanders. I didn't work with Lakeith Stanfield on that one, but I did just do another movie with him.
Yeah,
So-
he's funny. That's from Get Out.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah,
He's pretty funny. I think that's cool. So, yeah, you basically got it in order, and I was checking out your page, and I might have to jack you on this one. Happily wearing a lot of hats, because that's just the thing for it is nowadays for us.
I stay busy.
Definitely. So the Unmuted Show, your podcast, I saw it a couple of times, talked to our viewers about it.
Yeah, I did that last year. Consistency's not my strong suit, so I'm not as good
Well, I
as
don't
you
feel
are.
no kind of way.
Please don't.
I'm consistently inconsistent.
Ooh, I
Hello,
love
so
that.
that's what they say.
I love that. I'm gonna steal that.
Please do.
So I filmed it all like a TV show. I used celebrities that I've worked with already in LA. And the goal was to just talk about different people's accents and the way we view accents in terms of bias. So we talk about a lot of other different kinds of bias, but when people hear voices, they make assumptions and judgments.
They do.
And that's something that we don't talk about enough. So the more awareness we can make of that, the less biased people can be. So I filmed that one. I got some really cool guests. Like, it was Daniel Ezra's only interview from last year. He's from All American. Did y'all watch All American?
Yes, he's the main character.
He's British.
Yeah.
Do you know
With
that?
the quarterback?
Yeah.
The man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I mean, I
Yeah.
hadn't watched the show a lot. My son and
Well,
my wife's crazy about it, but
Yeah, he doesn't slip.
come on, wow.
So I got to interview him. It was his only interview last year. And people just went nuts on the internet, like, what? He's British?
Kind of like Idris Elba, like
Yeah,
people
exactly.
didn't realize he was
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
Daniel.
and then Daniel.
Yeah.
And from the old boy from Get Out. That's what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
that's my guy.
Yeah. Well, I actually know him. I did.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Oh,
my
no.
I can't think about it. Not one of the
Oh, Queen
Black
and Slim?
Queen and Slim.
Queen and Slim.
Queen and
Queen and
Slim.
Slim. Yeah, that was.
Okay, were you in it?
Edward or something.
No, I wasn't.
What'd you do in it?
Well, I bought him some Soldier Reeboks for his birthday. that's the one thing I did for
Okay.
him. I just helped out Jodie Smith Turner. She was.
Oh, is that why
she's
you
one
look
of my
familiar?
friends. Well,
I think we worked together because I was on set the whole time.
Yeah. That's
you go.
Okay.
Well, usually when women say that, I ask them if they dream a lot. But since I actually knew I knew you from the business, that's why I asked you those questions.
I do dream a lot. You've been on my mind a lot since then.
Well, we've all been looking for work.
That's funny. Yes, it's Inside the Trenches. If y'all just tuning in, we're joined by Audrey LaCrone. Be sure to follow her on the social media at Audrey LaCrone. And hey, we're having ourselves a great time here on a Monday. Audrey, before we let you go, what's next? I mean, definitely plug in the shows again, but what you got coming up next? When we gonna get in the studio together with, Ooh, yeah.
Yes. Okay. I have a bunch of things coming up next, so I gotta stop partying so I can focus. Last night I saw such good music shows. Oh my God. But I have season 2 of my podcast coming up. But instead of going back to LA, I've decided to do a New Orleans segment. So I want to really highlight New Orleans voices, New Orleans people, New Orleans culture. And then from there, I think I want to do like different cities all throughout.
Okay.
All throughout the US or maybe London, who knows. So that's next. Please be a guest.
You can definitely use my New Orleans voice.
There you go.
I'm just going to take it.
That's coming up. I want to record an album this summer, and I have it all planned out. It's called Uptown Divorcee, and so it's a lot of naughty songs.
Okay. I think there's a market for that.
I think so. There's a lot of lot of happy divorcees out there.
Uptown for sure.
Yeah, right?
They win it.
Those are the biggest things coming up, I think.
I think that's pretty cool. Well,
I think that's enough.
Yeah, that is.
It is full, for sure.
For sure. So I did have one more question for you. So obviously this is a sports and entertainment show. Do you go to a lot of Saints games, Pelicans games?
I was really hoping you wouldn't ask me this.
That's fine.
I've never been to a professional sports game in my life.
Oh, wow.
Come on.
I don't know if I've even ever been to a college sports game, to be honest.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, guess what? That's something you have to put on your list this year.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's going to be room and there's going to be tickets available. And I promise you, the Superdome, it'll blow your mind the first time you walk
That's
in.
what I've heard. I haven't run into any of those situations.
It's brand new.
I'm excited.
Check it out.
I'm excited.
Definitely. Well, Audrey, thank you so much for coming on the show. We got to get you back on again. Y'all make sure y'all, again, check her out every Wednesday and Thursday. I know NOLA Crawdaddies, that's on Thursdays, and then on Wednesdays is
Wednesdays at Loda by St. Roch Market, and Thursdays at Bourbon O Bar.
Y'all heard it right here on Inside the Trenches. We want to thank Audrey so much for coming on. We're going to take a quick break, but before we do that, we want to thank Robert Wolfe and Construction once again for what they do for the show. And remember, y'all could go there, 143 Lapalco Blvd. Get them house elevations if y'all need them here in the Bayou. And let them know you heard about them right here on Inside the Trenches. We'll be back, baby. Hello, somebody.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Wolfe, if you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got a great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing, all Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamarque Ford City Ford. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis, to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamarque Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamarque Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Welcome back, baby. It is Inside the Trenches. We're live here at Loyola Studios in beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana. We want to take this time to thank Conquer Sports Pros, baby, where all the elite players ball out. To find out more about high school training, college training, and pro, hit up Conquer Sports Pros on Instagram for more information, for certainly. Speaking of sports, man, one thing I like about Mondays is sports talk day for me. So throughout the day, every once in a while, I get an interview. So I had an opportunity to go on with our homeboy, Sean Fox. Sean Fox is going to join us from Fox Sports out in Ruston, Louisiana, 97.7 FM. Sean, thank you so much for coming on Inside the Trenches, bro.
Hello, somebody. My guy, what's up?
Hello, somebody. Man, all is well. I got my homie CL in here. And
Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank y'all for the hard work.
Yes, indeed, man. Thanks for having me on the show earlier. It was fun talking with you guys earlier. So
always, man. Listen, I gotta get in the studio. Look, I'm up here in Monroe and Ruston now, but I'm a 504-985 kid.
All right.
Okay.
Look, East Jefferson General Hospital. My brother lives in Desterham.
Come on.
My mom lives in Mandeville. My sister lives in Massville. I graduated from Fontainebleau, so I'm a South Louisiana.
Oh, yeah,
kid.
you South Louisiana.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, we Louisiana made Louisiana proud.
Yeah.
Well, we got to go to your original hometown, where we at right now in New Orleans. What grade you give the New Orleans Saints for the draft?
Look, Fave, I'll be honest. There's been very few times in my life that the Saints actually pick somebody I want. Like Reggie Bush was one of them. Last year, I call him Tallahassee and Fuego. My theory is, give me all the Polynesian/Samoans. They're either going to be pro wrestlers or great linemen, and the harder the name to say, the better they are.
Right.
So I love that pick. Overall, look, there was not a position, and you know this as good as anybody, there was not a position on this team that they did not need. I mean, they needed every single position, some better than others. I would say, look, it wasn't a sexy, but it was an effective draft. I don't know, B-, C+. I thought they hit the needs that they needed. I mean, got what they need, which is everything.
Yeah, that was my grade. I went B-. It was almost a C+, but I had to go back and watch a little bit of Tyler Shuck's film, which kind of segues to my next question. Who's going to get the keys to the Mercedes-Benz this year? I'm talking September, first week in September, right? The 8th or 9th or something like that, CL?
Oh, yeah.
Who's going to have the keys to the Mercedes-Benz?
Look, I can tell you at this point, it's probably not going to be the Lemon. And I was the biggest car defender forever, but that dude, I think there's so much ill will at this point, it's not going to be him. I actually think if you're asking me who I think is going to be the starter week one, I still think it's going to be Rattler. But I do think they did not draft Shuck to be a project. I do think eventually he is going to be the guy. We talked about this on my show earlier today. You haven't drafted a quarterback in the first or second round since Archie Manning. Eventually, he's going to be the guy. But there's a huge jump to get ready from college to the NFL. I do think he's going to be the guy, but I still would like to see Spencer Rattler, what he could do with the starters, because that dude came in at the end of the year, particularly with wide receivers and some offensive linemen who are coming off the street. So I do think he's going to start week one, but I do think eventually this is Tyler Shuck's team.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. And, unfortunately, politics plays more a part of sports than we care to admit. But, we talk so much about the quarterbacks. The New Orleans Saints picked up 9 new players and brought over to this franchise. What guys do you see coming in might be a plug-and-play guy, besides, obviously, Ernie Banks Jr., your first-round pick? Any guys, the linebacker, the safety, the corner, who you like might could get some playing time early?
You mentioned Kelvin Banks. Look, I think we all wanted to see him draft Will Campbell, but Will Campbell's not going to be there. Kelvin Banks won every single award that they had to offer at the college ranks, and he does something that the Saints, whether it was Sean Payton, everybody, you like versatility. You like guys who can play all over the offensive line. He can do that. I'm anxious to see if they're going to switch Fuaga from left to right. Are they going to put Trevor Penning inside? Is Banks going to play inside? So, yes, you're right. And as you guys mentioned earlier, this is building from the inside out. I love Danny Stutzman, the linebacker from Oklahoma.
I do as well.
Now, I know you're going to get over Pete Warner. He's a dog. He's just a football player. He reminds me of the program Latimer. That's the dude.
I said that. That's exactly what I said.
I love the way he plays, and I tell you, Kansas football has. I'm going to try to watch my language. It's kind of been ass for years. Lance Leopold has done a great job over there, and one of the reasons they've been good, they got a fun little quarterback. But Davin Neal, I've really, really liked him, and that was one of the guys I had circled that hopefully the Saints could draft. I was surprised they got him in the 6th round. I think they're gonna. I think he's gonna find some time. Now, look, can Condre Miller stay healthy? That's gonna be the big key. If he can't, I think this dude's got the ability to come in right away and take snaps away from him. And then the last pick, the Diggs kid out of Syracuse. He was a transfer from Texas A&M, and when Fran Brown went over to be the head coach from A&M to Syracuse, he went with them. And I was reading report from Dane Bolger from The Athletic, and he was talking about picks he liked per round, and he thinks he can come in and make an impact. And Lord knows the Saints need to find some kind of consistent pass rush. So I actually really loved what the Saints did middle to late in this draft.
And that's usually our crawl, right? That's usually what we stand on the later rounds, the 3rd to the 5th round, and we did get some guys. I do love Diggs. I also love the Kansas running back. I understand Mr. Devin Neal led Kansas University in rushing, even though the great Gale Sayers attended Kansas over the years. Do you see him being the 2nd-string running back? Because we're also forgetting about Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who is actually a first-round talent that has snuck his way onto this roster. What do you think going forward?
I'm so glad you brought up Clyde, because I think the story alone kind of writes itself. We'd love to see Clyde kind of be that guy. But yeah, I do think Clyde is probably going to be the 3rd or 4th guy. I really do think if Condre Miller stays healthy, he has certainly showed the potential to be that guy. But I believe in Davin Neal so much, CL, that, again, I'm a big fan of his. I think he's one of the big reasons with Jalen Daniels, the quarterback of Kansas, why they are able to turn that program around. Look, all we know for Kansas is basketball. Until Lance Leopold in that backfield. Like I said, I still hold out a little bit of hope for Condre Miller, but I believe in Davin Neal that much that he will eventually be the number 2 guy.
Sean, we getting a little bit of feedback from you. You have any headsets or adjust the volume to your phone? Hannah, let me know if that's good, Hannah, once he does it. Give us a we're getting everything together.
Is that better?
She's gonna come give me a thumbs up in a second. But if y'all are just tuning in to Inside the Trenches, we have my man Sean Fox on. Be sure to follow him on X at Fox4 Sean. At Fox4 Sports Talk. Sean, we're still having a little bit of a difficulty here, but I wanted to.
Is that better?
That might be better because you got the headsets in.
All right, yeah. Okay.
So hold on.
Better?
Hold on 1 second. Hannah, we good? Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Sean. we did address a lot of needs with 9 players selected. Obviously, we didn't pick that 6'4", 215 wide receiver that we need, that possession guy, that 50-50 guy. When you look at the Saints roster as it is today, do you see a guy emerging to be that 50-50 ball guy, or do we have to go get Keenan Allen or Cooper? Do you see a Bub Mean stepping up? Do you see a Cook stepping up, coming off that injury, him being a little older? Who do you see emerging at that wide receiver position?
Yeah, well, Cooks doesn't really fit that role that you mentioned, although I am glad to see him get back. I was really hoping, when the Saints have been at their best, they've had a Marcus Colston.
Right.
They've had a Michael Thomas. They've had that guy they could go up and do it. Maybe Juwan Johnson can be that guy. And I'll tell you a story about Bub Means real quick, guys. That guy actually spent a year at Louisiana Tech. And if you'd have told me that guy at Louisiana Tech was going to be playing for the Saints, blew my mind. I was like, dude, I had to go back. I was like, wait, is that the same kid who played at Tech? He went to Pittsburgh. He really blew up, and he's become a completely different player. I still don't know if he's that guy, but I do agree. Whether it's Keenan Allen or somebody else, the Saints have always been at their best when they've had a Michael Thomas, a Marcus Colston. And I think right now, the only guy who might even fit that description is Juwan Johnson. And again, he's just basically, he's our possession tight end. So, yeah, I do think if you're looking at what is the biggest need I think the Saints have going into the season, it is that.
Yeah, I have to agree with both of y'all. Wide receiver is the need, and it's more of the size thing. You know, you want Michael Thomas was 6'3". I heard y'all mention Keenan Allen, which I heard he was on the free agent wide. We may take a look at, but yeah, I don't know what the goal is with all those little bitty receivers, just by nature, you know.
We seem to be drafting the same body types, the same dimensions, and I'm not too big to say, hey, Michael Thomas. We would love for Mike Thomas to be back in the black and gold. Maybe that ship has already passed, but what Mike brings to the game is exactly what we need at wide receiver
100%.
Today.
I agree with you.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. Look, we're forgivable people. Look, and maybe Mike might have been right all along about some of the things he said about some guys in the past. And I honestly think Saints fans would be excited if Thomas came back.
Yeah.
I would.
I'm pretty sure he's still in shape. He did miss, one full season?
Mike being in shape is never the question. Mike being ready to play football, Mike giving us 5 catches a game, Mike giving us the tough receptions over the middle is never the question. I think it's with the Saints, it's a relationship that needs to be mended. And if I have to be the one to extend the olive branch, because Mike, we need you, brother. We love you. We know you're enjoying California right now. Brother, we need you in that black and gold. By all means, stand on me. It's never the answer the phone.
I'm pretty sure he wouldn't mind coming back, y'all. It is what it is.
And look, whether it's Michael Thomas, whoever, somebody who fits that description is desperately what the Saints need. Again, to me, that is the number one need they have going into the season.
I want to switch gears a little bit, talk a little LSU. You guys asked me a little bit on y'all's show earlier, do I feel like this is the best LSU's roster going into this season for Brian Kelly? I'm not even just wide receiver, just team in general. I guess I'm going to throw a similar question back at you based off of the activity in the transfer portal, the guys that's coming in, some of the seniors, or should I say upperclassmen, guys like Gary Nussmeier, Ashton Stamps, just taking a guy off offense and defense. Is this a roster that, or at least make it into the BCS series? Do you see them fitting in this 12?
Yeah, Fave, you know the expectations from LSU fans, and there's some who think Brian Kelly hasn't met them yet. I thought year one they overachieved. I thought year two was kind of okay. I thought last year was the first year I was disappointed in what they brought to the table. But I think this is now year 4.
And to Brian Kelly's defense, Fave, see, like y'all know this, like the way you used to build a roster was you'd build through the high school ranks. And if you had a couple holes, you'd go fill it through the JUCO ranks, right? That's what you did. Well, now we live in this era of the NIL, the transfer portal, and Brian Kelly's like, okay, so we're going to continue to build our roster through the high school ranks, and we'll fill our hole through the transfer portal. Well, then you started realizing, you look what Ole Miss did and some of your competition did. And all of a sudden, like Brian Kelly, I think his mindset, we all kind of appreciate it because that's how you did it. It's like, wait a minute, maybe we need to go build our team through the portal and fill holes through the high school kids. And maybe, because, like, look, if your competition, you don't have time to develop if they've got older kids who are experienced. And I think Brian Kelly finally understood that this year, and that's why LSU was so aggressive. You and I talked about this earlier today on my show. Look, Bryce Underwood might be the next Patrick Mahomes. This kid could be incredible. But I think if they give all that money to Bryce Underwood, they're not able to bring in the transfer portal class that they brought in. I think, look, do you have the wide receivers on paper right now that you have? I mean, look, the Thomas, Lacy, God love him. Who am I? Like the ones that Malik Neighbors. Like, do you have those guys that you know of yet? No. But I think across the board, because look, even when you had those guys, you had some deficiencies defensively. When I look right now, and Fave, you would know this better than anybody, I don't see those same deficiencies. All the deficiencies that they had in the winter, they filled. The few left they had in the spring, they filled. They got the number one defensive tackle. They got the number one safety. Those were the only two things they were lacking. So for me, there's no more excuses. This is year number 4. This is your best class. You've got a senior quarterback with a ton of experience. You are like missing your 2 tackles who are NFL guys. I get that. But the one thing I think Brian Kelly has done extremely well is he has recruited the trenches. Very, very well. I mean, that whole line is 4- and 5-star kids. And then he got the number 1 transfer center out of Virginia Tech. He got one of the number 1 outside tackles out of Northwestern. Like, there are no more excuses. For me, the only thing I'm kind of worried about is LSU opening at Clemson, right? So LSU has opened the last few years in neutral site games against USC, against Florida State. Look, I don't know if you guys have already started looking to next year. They are loaded. This Clemson team is the best team LSU has faced in the opener yet. And you're playing it at Clemson. So, to me, can you prove that you can win the season opener? Now, here's the thing. Even if you don't, they still rally to make it back and make it interesting. But this opener against Clemson, I think, is the toughest one that Brian Kelly's team has faced. But, yes, I do think we're out of excuses. This is the team. You should at least minimum be a playoff team. Not to be a national championship team, but you should be a playoff team.
Right. And I love how you rattled off all the additions that they did inside the transfer portal and addressing need by need. With all the guys being brought in and emerging this defense to be better, obviously better than last year, what do you see the role is, and what do you think the expectation is for the returning Harold Perkins Jr.? They did.
Oh, that's the key, right? They seem to.
With all the guys being brought
and look, this is where a guy like the guy you're sitting next to would know better than me, X's and O's. To me, it always felt like you're trying to take a square peg in a round hole. Right. For me, it's always, to me, for Harold Perkins is see football, go get football. Let my man just go chase after the quarterback after the edge. But I do think even if Perkins you're sitting next to would know better than me, isn't what he was his freshman year, and he took everybody by storm, I do think the pieces surrounding him are better than ever. Like, Weeks turned into kind of that dude. I love that young linebacker Keys that started playing at the end of last year. I think he's a dog. And, like, the little Weeks that is coming in, the youngest, they say might be the best of all the Weeks brothers. So I do think, like, now, I think Harold Perkins was a, like, you had to have him. I actually think where LSU is now, Harold Perkins is kind of a luxury. It's a really good luxury, but you don't need Harold Perkins to be that Harold Perkins from his first year for this defense to still be good.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Sean. In CL, remember this from the spring before, we were talking about how high his role is going to be.
Right.
Whoever he was his freshman year, is who needs to come back.
Come on back.
You said it the best. See ball, get ball. When we had that type of, I would like to call him an adjuster. This is what Troy Polamalu was to the Steelers defense. He was able to see ball, get ball, whether he playing a safety position, drive back, or he, and I see they tried to do that with Harrell at linebacker, but then you take away what Weeks could do. So I think just being able to use him as, because that's what, I mean.
And eliminate the thinking, right? Let's eliminate the thinking for this young man, and let's just send him. Weeks got his back. Weeks going to make the tackle. Let's just send 4. Well, I mean, if he's still weighing 4, let's send him.
Yeah, well, he may go back to the 40. We don't know. But to CL's point, when we could just send him, it really has the rest of the defense fall in. So you can use him at the end and roll with your traditional interior guys in a traditional end, or you can roll him with the linebacker position with the intent to blitz. But trying to fit him in the pocket is tough, Sean.
Well, not only that, I also think around, like, can you imagine this is the best ends that he's had to work with. I mean, the Python kid they got from Florida, the Peyton kid they got from Florida State. I love the kid they got out of Nebraska. Like, you got those guys now. I mean, and you can send him right next to him. You can only block so many people at one time. Like I said, that's why I'm so optimistic about this team, is because I do think there's been better NFL talent as far as the Neighbors, as far as the Thomas, a Jaden. But as far as across the board as an entire team, I think this is the best one that Brian Kelly's had.
We're still saddened by the loss of Kyron Lacey, and his family and his situation is dear to our hearts. Who do you see on this LSU team that emerges to be the man at the wide receiver position? The true number one, the true alpha dog, the true go-get-it, 50-50 ball man, third and long. And his family.
Well, I love the way that Aaron Anderson developed from his first year to his second year. But is he more of a slot guy?
That emerges to be.
How about Kyle Parker? How about that for a name that he kind of came on, got hurt in that UCLA game after getting that one-handed catch? Like, I think you can use Barry and Brown in a lot of ways, but I think it's either going to be Parker or Nick Anderson, the kid they got out of Oklahoma. I know this. Like, I think this might be the fastest receiving corps in all of college football. Like, this could be a track team. And then you look at Faith. How long did they go? Like, it's been so amazing to me that LSU's put so many talented players in the NFL, whether it was receivers or quarterbacks. But we could not get anything going special teams-wise in punt returns and kick returns. Well, you saw Xavier Thomas has been one of the best. He brought one back. Aaron Anderson brought one back. And Barry and Brown is better than both of them. Like, you've got a luxury in the return game right now. So, and all those guys, I think, at it, Barry and Brown's never played with a wide receiver, or a quarterback, excuse me, like Garrett Nussmeier. Garrett Nussmeier, I think, has got an elite arm playing with track guys. Like, the transfer guys like the Thomas, I know he transferred last year, the Nick Anderson, the Barry and Brown. But I still think there's some guys that LSU got through the traditional high school ranks, like a Parker, who could come in and really, really surprise me. What did my heart so well, because Lord knows, we saw what he did at Carr. And I was like, where is that Aaron Anderson? We didn't see it at Alabama. We didn't see it his first year. We saw it last year. And I don't know if he's going to be the number one guy, but I love what he brings to the table.
Yep, and I'll tell you all right now, it's funny you bring up like Aaron Anderson's development and how he has fully emerged into the guy that he is. We didn't see a lot of team success, but we saw it. This receiving core, and y'all both may agree with me on this one, this receiving core reminds me of my freshman year at LSU. Aaron's like Skylar Green in the slot, quick guy you get the ball to. We got Craig Davis, old Perry Walker, right?
Come on.
He was a 4.3 guy. He may have not had the top end speed of a Chris Hilton or something like that. We had Dwayne Bowe. So we had a lot of speed. Dwayne Bowe was our body guy. I think him like a Tredass Green. So you look at this receiving core, Jamarcus wasn't a speedster, but he had the strong arm.
Right.
They could potentially have some of that spark that some of the receiving teams I've been on around.
In fact, I didn't even mention Hilton, and he started coming on obviously he missed a lot of time. We saw in the bowl game what he could do. And god dang, how could I forget Trey'Dez Green? You want to talk about the absolute X factor? Like, yeah, that's the dude. Like that, third and short, a goal line, jump ball, alley-oop, go get it.
You know what? Who he is? Who we wish the Saints had with Jawan Johnson. Like that's the tight end. If you're gonna go and Jawan, I'm not dissing you. You earned your 3-year extension, but I'm talking about that could be that real betweener receiver tight end frame.
And maybe if we looked on the brighter side of it, we're not 100% sure of what Kevin Moore's ideal prototypical 50-50 ball receiver is or tight end. We know he just had Dallas Goedert last year with the Eagles. Goddard was so flexible in what he does. I actually remember seeing him take a handoff last year. So maybe when they convince Jawan Johnson to re-sign with the Saints, maybe a conversation was had that, you know what, we know you're really a tweener, and we'll concentrate more on getting the ball to you as a receiver. So, that's quite possibly a possibility.
I always thought he had the potential to be a Pro Bowl type receiving tight end. And we've seen flashes of it, but it's not been consistent. Before I do, I want to tell you mentioned Trey'Dez Green. I want to put a young man on y'all's radar that we hope ends up at LSU. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
There's this kid at Ruston High. His dad played basketball at LSU.
Okay.
Ahmad Hudson. All right. Ahmad Hudson Jr. is a 2027 kid who is the #1 tight end, not just in Louisiana, in the country, but he's also a top 60 basketball player. Like, he is that unicorn that might have the potential to play both sports.
Wow.
And whatever NIL money LSU's got in 2027, I'm telling you, between Elijah Haven or Pop Houston out of Evangel, they've got to get 2 or 3 of those kids. This Ahmad Hudson kid is special.
And I'll tell you a kid we trained down here at Jesuit, Zyron Forstall. He's class of 2027. He's another one. That 2027 class, nice, yeah. Okay. I saw a lot of them.
And the D lineman out of Carr.
Oh, yeah, you talking about Richard Anderson.
Yes.
Yeah, he a dog.
Yes.
He act a fool in the state. You was in it,
Yeah. Well, everybody knows that Jasper Parker is my favorite high school coming into a freshman running back, and I stand by him for the rest of my life. But I am so curious to hear about what's going on with Harlem Berry. Have you heard anything?
He act a fool in the state. You was in it, yeah.
Well, look, I mean, we saw if you've got Fournette in the same sentence as this guy, who can come in, be the #1 overall back in the country. Like, I love Caden Durham, and I don't think he's going to take his spots. But I do think, and look, I still got hope for Caleb Jackson. I do. But I think Harlem Berry is too talented to keep off the field. And I'll tell you, I saw a bunch last year. The kid they got from Ash, JT Lindsay, I mean, if he wasn't in the same class with Harlem Berry, we'd be talking about this kid. I mean, what a luxury for LSU to have 2 top 10 running backs from the same class. So this is the deepest this running back core has ever been. And then listen, real quick, I know this is a sensitive subject. We still don't know what's going to happen with Trey Holly. I called every single one of his high school games at Union High School. I called him breaking the all-time state record. So, I mean, if you get him back, I mean, they've got, again, that would be a luxury, but I think this is the deepest LSU's been at the tailback position in quite some time.
Man,
you've got to be able to run the football.
No, you have to. It opens up all that speed for we have in the receiving core. Those guys will be able to shine if we could have a running game like 2019. We had a running game.
It helps if the safeties are in a cover 2 and they 15 yards
that
back
part
on
too. That definitely helps. Yes, indeed. Well, Sean, we got to get you back on here a lot more, man.
Anytime, man.
He's Sean Fox. Y'all make sure if y'all in the Ruston area, and y'all can check him out on the app. Great show, Sports Talk 97.7 out there in Ruston, Louisiana. And be sure to follow him on X at Fox 4 Sports Talk. Definitely great content. And, man, me and you, and I know CL part of our crew now, we could do this all night, man, but we appreciate you.
You tell me when, bro.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate you, man. Have a good one. Well, that was Sean Fox, y'all. of Fox Sports out there in Ruston, Louisiana, talking a little LSU football with us along with the Saints. Listen, y'all hang around a little bit. Me and CL going to come back and enjoy a little bit of those hoop dreams. Let's go around the NBA while on. We'll talk a little Pels, too. Are the Pels about to make a big news, a big move? It's Inside the Trenches, baby, right here on ESPN Baton Rouge. Y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Hello.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Hello, somebody. This is Robert Wolfe. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got a great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing, all Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamarque Ford Crescent City. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamarque Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamarque Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Well, welcome back, beautiful people. And time does fly when you're enjoying yourself. Clip his wings. It's your boy Marlon BIGFAV Favorite, your favorite Tiger. I'm here with what's the best GM around town? GM of the year? CL NOLA. Y'all be sure to follow him at CL_NOLA. I know we talked a lot of football with y'all. We want to thank our guest, Audrey Crone, for coming on.
Definitely.
We also want to thank Sean Fox for coming on. Great content. It's been a while since we had an entertainment guest on the show.
For sure.
And Audrey came through, and she has tons of stuff for y'all to check out. So y'all be sure to follow her to stay up to date. And Sean Fox stays with the news. It just so happy he works for Fox Sports out in Ruston.
I can appreciate
so I think that's
getting
cool.
some of that Northern Louisiana talent information.
Yeah.
To put us up on game. I can appreciate. Thank you, Sean. Keep that coming.
Different perspective. You know, he talked about the young tight end basketball player as well.
Right.
I think that, to CL's point, that is great. We want to get Sean on a couple of more times, man, for sure. And we want to take this time to thank our brand new sponsor, Health Nut System, the smart way to fuel. Be sure to check out stillbody.org. Again, it's stillbody.org. We're working on the graphics and everything right now. I got a couple, progress pics. If y'all want to see the latest and the greatest, you know what I'm saying, be sure to go to my @BigFave504 on Instagram.
Still Body.
And check it out, man. It's Still Body getting us right. CL, it's time for us to switch gears to a little bit of basketball. I know y'all see CL looking over. He keeping us posted. As y'all know, we're at the conference semifinals, both East and West, as we're getting up for the NBA Finals. Right now, the Knicks are taking on the Celtics. CL, you got a couple updates for us.
Celtics are leading by 3, 86-83. A little inside the church situation. I was a New York Knickerbocker before I came a New Orleans Pelican.
Okay, all right.
If you realize the time frame,
Makes sense.
I'm back in the, I'm a Knicks guy from the Ewing, Allen Houston, Stark, Sprewell, those days, even a great Charlie Ward, those days at Larry Johnson, Knicks, so, I got my eye on it. They said the Knicks didn't have a chance in this series, and they were down by 11, and now it's a lot closer in the fourth.
Man, I'm just thinking about how this series is coming along. I mean, you think about Jason Tatum and Boston and how they were able to win big. That was last year Boston won it, right?
Yep.
That was last year.
They are the
Boston
reigning champion.
They're the reigning champions, a 2 seed. Obviously, Cleveland is the number 1 seed here in the East.
Right.
Before we switch gears to Cleveland and the Pacers, how do you think this series goes? Is it the Celtics are 5, or is it one of those situations where this may potentially stretch 7 games?
Well, like I said, brother, I was a Knickerbocker before I was a Pelican.
Oh, I hear you.
I understand the wherewithal of the New York Knicks. I understand that the Boston Celtics are the deepest team in the NBA. I do understand that Bronson is a lot shorter than a Taysom and a Brown on the other side. But it's just something about them Knickerbockers in the playoffs. They gonna play hard, and they want more than a respectable gentleman's sweep. So I give it a closer game than a gentleman's sweep. So I've been told by Boston fans.
No doubt, and I want to switch gears a bit here right now. I mean, it's only right that we talk about Cleveland and what they're able to do. I mean, I look at Donovan Mitchell, and not only is he dominant in the paint, but, man, he facilitating his tail off out there. I was able to catch a game the other day.
These boys are, Cleveland is not the number 1 team in the East for nothing. They have the 2 guys at the guard. You have a Garland, you have a Mitchell, but I don't think the guys down low in the paint get enough credit. But so I've been told, all of this is for naught.
Mm-hmm.
Because supposedly it's SGA and the Thunder will meet the Celtics in a big game. So possibly all of this is for naught, but I'm sure the New York Knicks and the Minnesota Timberwolves will have something to say about that.
I mean, you start looking at the Pacers roster, and you look at a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, all-star.
Oh, for sure.
He could press it, but I don't see that series going past 5 games. You?
I could see it going past 5 games because I understand what the Pacers like to do. No pun intended. They like to get the pace going pretty fast. They like to
lead
run
right now.
And, Siakam. I don't think he gives enough credit for playing both ends of the court. Even though Halliburton and his daddy probably gets a little more of the newspaper clippings. But I do think it is all for naught because I don't see anybody getting past the Cleveland Cavaliers in the East.
Ooh, so Cleveland Cavaliers and Thunder in the finals is what you're saying. That would be an interesting finals because we don't usually see that. We'll usually see Lakers and Boston. Yeah, we've never seen it, so that would be interesting. Let's go over to the West, why don't we?
Come on.
Right now, let's see, Tuesday at 9:30
start
p.m.
going fishing. We gotta have to find a way to start going fishing.
I know, man. I ain't go fishing in about 10 years.
Well, man. The Lakers gone fishing, and we gotta we need to get us some kind of props up in there. I might have to bring a pole
freshwater fishing.
Yeah, I might. Cobble fishing.
They're going to catch some good tuna fish out there, some salmon. They're going to get that good stuff.
Wherever they going, they ain't got no redfish.
And then it's treat on LeBron. So LeBron got the whole team benching off.
We're going to rookie heads, no pun intended, it's on Bronny.
Oh, it's almost like that commercial I saw when LeBron had poured like a whole bunch of like Fruity Pebbles or something. Right. It's called, you open it, it's like, and he rolled past in his whip. Don't be late for practice, Rook. So he had to call an Uber. That was funny.
Well, I know they ain't going to be late for practice because it's all over for them. Moving on to the Timberwolves in the West.
Let's talk about, before we even go to the Warriors and the Timberwolves, which I think that's going to be a very interesting series, just the whole Draymond Green and Ant, I just think those two being on the court at the same time is just, going to be Hollywood.
Yeah, and it sells papers, and it gives you a reason to watch. But my thought process about the Timberwolves and the Golden State, how after all these games, after all these years, the biggest big man that the Warriors have is Draymond Green, and nobody can beat them down low. Nobody decides to go big, and Minnesota is a team that can go big. Minnesota is a team that can put out 2 7-footers every day of the week. Why aren't they taking their? And we understand the greatness of Steph Curry. We understand the emergence and the defense that have helped out with Jimmy Butler coming over. But still, basketball is still basketball. Why are they not being taken advantage down low? It blows my mind. But I'm a dinosaur, so you know. What you say?
I guess it's mainly chemistry. Like Jerry Mine is one of those originals of that team with the Splash Brothers and all of that. So I think it's more of in the way he approaches the game as well. He gonna play.
Look at this.
Oh.
90. Yeah, the stream just froze.
Well, that might be on them.
It's back. All right. We Gucci. We live. Hold up. Give me a. Cool. We back live.
And we back live, baby. Hello, somebody. A little bit of technical difficulties, but nothing too bad about that. You know, big shots out to our production crew, man. UP,
jumping in,
Tyler, and all the crew doing an exceptional job getting things back rolling with us. CL, you were talking about just this matchup throughout the whole series, really the whole season. Why a lot of people didn't play big man ball down low with a fairly shorter Warriors team.
And maybe somebody in the chat, you know, I don't claim to be the best aficionado about basketball. I just, you know, obviously I know a little bit more than the basics. Why aren't people playing bullet ball against the Warriors? Because you want to make Steph tired, have a big man hit him coming across that screen. You know, he's running all around the court. Dominate on the boards, dominate on the offensive rebounds, and you should beat them. Once again, I still don't understand why J.J. Redick decided not to play their big man, to let Gobert go off for the Lakers. So maybe that being a blueprint on how to beat the Warriors. Because if they get past Minnesota, clearly they're a problem.
I mean, same coach, some of the same players, but really only 2 players from the original team. But in 2016, LeBron and those Cavaliers had it down pat, and it was, you know, basically wear them down.
Right.
You know, wear them down. And I guess most teams are still fearful of Steph once he turns to Steph.
He has that ability.
You know, so you know, being able to have some smalls on the perimeter
live by the sword,
makes sense.
die by the sword. Choose one, you know.
Choose one and fall. Huh? It's Inside the Trenches, baby. I'm here with CL Nolan. We're talking a little NBA, baby. They got the playoffs. We're playing basketball.
Knicks have taken the lead for the first time, 94-91. With 3 minutes left in the fourth. The Knicks have taken the lead for the first time tonight.
Will the New York Knicks take out the defending champions?
Still
That's
one.
The question.
Well, I don't know if we'll go that far. Let's just try to steal one.
Let's just try to steal one.
Beantown tonight.
Now, CL, before we go, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the Pelicans. Now, obviously they're not in the playoffs, but it's been some rumors speculating that the Pelicans might take a little shot at Giannis.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Talk to me.
Yeah. You know, I would be all for that if this was Giannis 3 years ago. If this was Giannis 2 years ago. My whole thing about trading Zion is I recognize we'll never get full compensation. But what I will do is expect for us to get the closest to compensation. So if you're having a conversation about Giannis in the trade for Zion, my question shortly after that is, and what? Because for me personally, Giannis wouldn't be enough. They would have to add something else with that. I don't know if it's picks or players, but it wouldn't just be Giannis. It wouldn't be a straight-up trade, Giannis for Zion. Because if I'm not mistaken, Zion is what, maybe 25? 20,
about around
24? Giannis is what, almost 30?
Zion got a baby.
Well, they all got babies.
Yeah, Zion baby down here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I said
think
I
like
wasn't
to
going to
sit.
comment on none of that.
All right, well, let's take a look at the depth chart. I mean, right now you have
Congratulations,
Alvarado.
Zion.
Shouts out to Zion, man. Definitely, life is always a beautiful thing. Just looking at some of the players on the Pelicans depth chart.
Come on.
You have an Alvarado, you have a Jordan Hawkins. Misi, to me, is somebody you can
Up
build
and coming.
around. So, is trading Zion a smart move or a disaster?
Well, it's funny that you brought up the roster. What's coming back next year? Murray coming off of injuries.
Yeah.
Herb coming off of injuries. Murphy coming off of injuries. Nisi having that rookie year that he had.
Yeah.
Hawkins another year of seasoning. Besides, outside of Zion, the Pelicans have a nice team. We just have to stay healthy. What happens in that lottery? If we get the first pick, I promise you this: we get the first pick, and we obviously I'll bring the card up and draft Cooper Flag. We're not gonna have no more Giannis conversations. We're not gonna have no more Zion trade conversations. Now that's a 12% chance, but
still have a chance.
Yeah, you damn right. So, but just to say all that, to say that there's a direction that this team can go in with or without Zion.
Okay.
And I will show some patience and wait till the great Joe Dumars decides what that is. But either way, if we trade him, if we don't trade him, I think the team around him is ready to win now.
And I think that's something that we should look forward to. Whenever you have changes on a high level like that, like front office changes, and it's the right changes, the team slowly but surely gets better. We saw that on the NFL end with the Houston Texans.
Right.
They made some serious changes.
Well, it got to start from the top.
They got to start from the top, and I think bringing in Joe Dumars, you do have a mentor automatically for Zion, no matter what they decide to do. We've heard of reports of those two meeting, and this is a decent roster. You have balance on this roster, the balance of veteran leadership. C.J. McCollum, he's a guy
Shooters out the wazoo.
You got Murray coming back. He was a dog in San Antonio. In Atlanta, he still held his own. I mean, it's just a roster, in my opinion. You do think about Joe Dumars and Willie Green, right? We hadn't heard of anything of Willie Green being fired or nothing like that.
Right.
So I think that's a good thing. I'm a big fan of player coaches. But now that he has a different boss, hello somebody, you may have this team being a lot better structure-wise.
Well,
Cooper Flag is what you want, but
Cooper Flag is what I want, and I also would respect if they made a lateral move with Willie. Still kept him in the franchise, but just relieved him from that head coaching position. Because honestly, there's some guys that warrants interviews in New Orleans. Especially if we get and it doesn't all hang on Cooper Flag, but just imagine if we get a Cooper Flag. Now we add that with a Zion that should be healthy, a Murray coming back, a Herb, a Murphy, even a Alvarado. All
you
of the
Murray, huh?
Yeah, Murray. Yeah. Just the nucleus of what we have in New Orleans is sufficient. It's just that the injuries, and I'll never harp on it. Nobody never feels sorry for us. It's just the injuries were beyond devastating, and we really didn't get a chance to show the team that we had this year.
And I like how Trey Murray is really relaxing himself right now.
Yeah.
Was down in Miami. He hopped out the Sprinter. You know what I'm saying?
We signed him to a $100 million deal this year. He did show that his all-around game had become better. Unfortunately, the team didn't do as well, and he went out with a season-ending injury. But he's earned the right to relax for the offseason because I personally have seen his game become better. His handles, his off the ball motion. He is better. So you earned it. Come back healthy, Trey.
Well, definitely. Well, this game is tight. Boston is up 98-97 over the Knicks. This is a close game. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. We want to take this time to thank our guests for coming on the show.
Yes,
Audrey Crone, be sure to follow her. She have a Cross Zaddies event this weekend. This week, it's kind of hard to say that. I don't like the way the Zaddies roll off.
Yeah, that's all on you, Zaddy.
Audrey's going to just drop that down in the comment. But anyway, big shout-outs to her. We got to get her back on the show. And the homie Sean Fox out there at Fox Sports 97.7 if you're ever in Ruston, Louisiana. That's the station to dial in on. He's definitely going to keep you in tune. For all of our sponsors, baby, big ups to Conquer Sports Pros, where athletes get the edge. Big ups to my main man over there, Shelton Jordan over there. Big up, Shelton. What's up? Lamarque Ford Crescent City, subcontractors, contractors, get at him. His number's 504-734-3579. Tell them that you heard about him right here on Inside the Trenches. Big ups and all the support that they give us over there at Robert Wolfe in construction and real estate. 143 Gretna Boulevard, 393-2445. Mention BIGFAV to get those special rates. And welcome to the family. Dr. Andrews, both Health Nut Systems, the you didn't get to feel so good yet, man. If you got pain relief you need, oh man, and it hooked us up with the speed up. You know, starting to make your boy's stomach look a little flatter. You know, on the nights I don't eat the
treat meal.
The cheat meal.
Yeah.
Gotta take them pictures early in the morning. Big ups to her because she's definitely helped me on my health journey, and she can help you too. Check out her products at stillbody.org. Well,
Knicks back up by two. 100.
By two.
Oh, now it's tied.
It's tied.
52 seconds left in the fourth.
Hold on, look like we got
Bronson
like a minute
against
left.
Drew Holiday coming down.
We got a minute left here on the show. What we got here?
45 seconds left. Bronson against Holiday at the top of the key. They switch. Now they trying to double get the ball out of Bronson's hands to McKee. Open man.
I was gonna foul him. Oh, did he make it?
No.
This looks like it's jump ball.
Another one of the others for the Boston Celtics comes down with a major rebound. White, number 9, 28 seconds left. Still 100-100. But the Knicks did have a clean look at it.
Wow, I thought he fouled him. Well, y'all can check that out on TNT Sports. We got to get out of here, so shouts out to UP. Shouts out to Hannah Montana. Big ups to Hannah, Tyler for taking over the ones and twos. All our crew over here, thank y'all so much. And appreciate you guys. You right there for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back next Monday, 6:30, right here at Loyola. It's Inside the Trenches. This is your host, Marlon BIGFAV Favorite. My co-host, one of the coolest co-hosts in the city, CL NOLA. And shouts out to ESPN Baton Rouge.
Definitely.
Y'all have a good one. Hello, somebody. Go ahead and move your body.
Hello, somebody. This is Robert Wolfe. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got a great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing, all Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamarque Ford Crescent Ford. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamarque Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamarque Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on